It doesn't matter what I do. I cry when I grate onions or slice onions or just get around an onion. When I wore contacts, I didn't have that problem. But now that I don't wear contacts, yeah, it gives me a good cry. Hey, y'all, it's Lippy. Happy Tuesday. It is a gorgeous day outside. 80-something degrees. Got my moo-moo going. Hey, I'm loving life. But today is a special day. One, it's because I'm with y'all. But two, let's reflect back. May 2nd of 2020. At the time, changed our lives forever. 20 years of employment during that COVID. And then, within a blink of an eye, unemployed, city on lockdown. Yeah, it was dark times. It's May 2nd, 2023. The sun is shining. We have employment. We have a home, a roof over our head that's paid for. I'm still not Joanna Gaines, y'all. But we're working on it. So you see, today is a celebration with patience and faith and determination. You too can go through the dark times into the sunlight. Because only He knows the window. So you don't rush it, for there is light. So please enjoy these recipes because this is a big deal. This is a celebration and Mr. Buddy has no clue. It's 1:51 in the afternoon. I have a lot to make in a short period of time. He's running a little late. He'll pull in about 6. So we got 4 hours to make all of this happen. But the first thing we got to do is a salad, which is coleslaw. Now, in this bowl is those salad mixes. This one was the avocado. It's got red cabbage, regular cabbage, carrots, kale, broccoli. And I just throw the other stuff that comes with it away. But they had this used by tomorrow because, yes, this morning I had to go to the grocery store. I didn't Friday, but I had to get my grocery haul for the week. Y'all, my fruit. This week was, of course, bananas, but I chose pears over apples. And I'm looking at them at that table and I'm like, yes. So I got a few grapes. I got some strawberries for Mr. Buddy because, you know, ours is sporadic, 3 or 4 a day, but these were some big organic strawberries, a nice container, and it was $3.98. I said, okay, I can't beat that. So I went and stocked up on our fruits, our vegetables, and I always hit, I call it the clearance aisle of food, but guys, when it's still 24, 48 hours from best use date, and it's like 75% off, you bet I'm going to buy it. Now, I only bought 1 bag because I don't think we're going to eat it tomorrow. And all of them had tomorrow or the next day. So I opted for this, chunk the packages, and we're going to make a dressing, get this in a container chilling. Then we're going to move to a dessert. No, wrong. We got to get, well, I can't tell you. It's a surprise. Let's just get the coleslaw going. That's what I'm calling it. And we're going to move to the main course first because it's also got to sit, get happy, you know, bloom, smile. Well, I'm smiling looking at it. So, yeah, I'm celebrating today. Okay, let's do dressing. I got a lot of stuff sitting over here off camera going, oh my God. But we're going to have fun, okay? We're just going to have fun. Okay, here is my slaw mix. I did have to come in and tear a few bigger pieces of kale up, see, like this stem, but I don't take that out. We actually, well, that one's a little hard. Let me see. Okay, I'll move that. We do like the little crunch, but no, I didn't want that big hunker stem. Everything else looks, well, here, let's cut this one. But everything looks really, really good. Okay, now, we're going to dispose of that. To this measuring cup is 2 tablespoons of grated sweet onion. You can leave the onion out, okay? But that's 2 tablespoons. All right, let's move our tablespoon measurement. Now in this cup is 1/4 cup of buttermilk and 3 tablespoons of sugar. Now you can always double this, but this is just an amount for Buddy and I. So we got grated onion, that's optional, 1/4 cup buttermilk and 3 tablespoons of sugar. And you see I am combining this sugar. Now this is pure cane sugar, so it's gonna dissolve. This ain't that old sugar beets. Okay, perfect. Because I found if you dissolve the sugar into your milk or your buttermilk, it does a whole lot better. It doesn't sit on the bottom and crystallize. We got 1/4 cup of mayo. Any mayo that y'all like works. That's just 1/4 cup. And you'll see I combined in between each ingredient because I want it well and incorporated. Now, I may not use all of this dressing, but that's okay. I can turn this dressing into a tartar sauce. Okay, we're gonna add 1 tablespoon of lemon juice, 1 tablespoon of vinegar. Now, you can use the apple cider vinegar. I just prefer the simple 5% white distilled vinegar. It doesn't have such a strong bite. I'm gonna add a pinch of salt, add a little bit of my voodoo dust. It's got all the black pepper and a little garlic. It's got 3 different pepper blends. Oh yeah. And that right there is a basis to a great coleslaw. I mean, to a great tartar sauce. Okay. Let's see how much we're going to use. Because remember, as it sits, that salt and that vinegar is going to pull the moisture out of that cabbage. You know, cabbage is like a sponge. So you don't want to over moisten this because it's going to get soupy on you. I'm going to add just a little bit more. See, if I use the whole thing, I'm afraid it's going to be too wet. Oh, yeah. I'm happy with that. All right, let's get it in this container. I am so glad I get to spend the afternoon with y'all. Yesterday, I was very busy trying to catch up from the weekend. Remember, I've told y'all Mondays is pretty well laundry, ironing, you know, all of that, what we call fun stuff that, let's be honest, we don't like that fun stuff. But it's got to be done. Gorgeous. Remember the leftover dressing? We're going to add a pinch of this grated onion. Now, this is for another recipe we're going to do. And that, there again, it's optional. But if you was to have to do this from scratch, guys, it would just be some mayonnaise, a little sweet relish, a little vinegar, lemon juice. But you have the basic. And I'm going to add, not much, that's about 1/4 cup of mayo. Now you can use any kind of mayo. This is Blue Plate. You're going to give that a good whisk. A little bit more. Because this will chill well. And it'll keep about 10 days in the refrigerator. So I can get this used up. Now I'm going to add some sweet relish. You can add dill. I like the sweet. I'm kind of draining it in the jar, up against the jar, because I don't want a lot of liquid. That's a good tablespoon. 2 tablespoons. We're going to add a little bit of hot sauce. Let's get it combined. About a teaspoon of ketchup. I know y'all just gasp like, What did she do? It's the way we like it, guys. I add a little bit more tartar sauce, hot sauce, because I really can go by color. Add a little bit of my voodoo mix. And it's just that simple. There's our tartar sauce. I mean, there's a million ways to make tartar sauce. This is just our way. All right, let's get it poured up. I could add a little bit more mayo because it got, you know, from the lemon juice and vinegar, it got a little thin, but that's okay. Now, I wouldn't have added all of that or that much making the tartar sauce. But guys, that is out of this world, or at least for us. All right, so that's 2 recipes down. Clean up. Let's move to the next, because this has my name written all over it, literally. I got everything washed up. Now I'm drying my tablespoon. I mean, I could get another one, but I had to wash. Why keep messing up dishes? But we're gonna need this. Why? Because we're about to marinate a pound of Gulf shrimp. Now, these are shelled and deveined, and I left the tail on. And here is a pound of bass. Now, they were nice size fillets, and I just went in and took and cut the fillets in half. This is just enough for Buddy and I. So a pound of shrimp and a pound of fish. Miss Lippy's Fish Fry Magic. Remember, I told y'all, this is not just for fish, and it says it in the description. Shrimp, chicken, fish, pork chops. You can use it just as a marinade. You don't have to fry the meat. But guys, this is for frying and just for marinating. Right here, and that's a big old bag. So, and it's equal parts. 3 tablespoons mix, 3 tablespoons water per pound. So I have 2 pounds here. So I'll be using 6 tablespoons of my mix with 6 tablespoons of water. So we got to get this marinating a minimum of 2 hours, up to 24. I'm pushing the envelope on my own seasoning. But I had to go grocery shopping. I needed fruit, you know? Okay, that's 1. There's a little bit of water left over in here. There's 3. So I'm going to guesstimate. And you see, I'm not just measuring to measure. I think I got it. But because there's water in here, I'm going to be able to tell when I mix it if I need to add any more, because I thought I had drained this well. Oh, no, it's going to be perfect, guys. Just enough moisture. Now, we're going to get this in a container with a lid on it, because I'm actually going to be putting my meal directly in here and shaking it. There again, trying to use up dishes where I can wash and I just don't have a stockpile. But I really need a lid on that. And I don't want to miss any of this marinade. Okay, we're going to get the lid on. And into the ice box it goes. We're making good time, guys. Now I got to disinfect my board. Now we move to the dessert. Do y'all see? I am making all of our favorite treats. Now, Mr. Buddy loves the fish. He loves the shrimp. He loves the coleslaw. We're making homemade hush puppies, yes. But the one thing that he has not had, probably since 2020, is Neiman Marcus cake. Yes, this is his all-time favorite. I personally had never heard of it until we're rocking on 24 years ago. But this was his cookbook, that his mom made for him. Now, I don't know how old he was when he was gifted this, probably when he, you know, moved out of the house, 18, 19 years of age. And so this was his go-to. And I was flumming through it and flumming, and he was like, we were newlyweds, and he was like, is the Neiman Marcus cake recipe in there? I said, the what? So I got to looking, and I said, yeah, it's in here. He says, let's make it. Well, it wasn't me, it was him. I just sat with some coffee and I watched, because y'all, Buddy is a fantastic cook. Kid you not. The man, he's just talented. What can I say? But he's an amazing cook. But anyway, he made this. Now, it's on the sweet side. Y'all know I'm not big on sweets. He dabbles in sweets. Come on, he'll say, well, I don't eat a lot of sweets. You know, he gets M&Ms once a month, a jug. So, he dabbles in sweets. But I knew that I wanted to make this because this morning when I saw the date, I was looking at weather news, all that good junk, and it's junk. This popped in my head. So we're going to get this going because you don't really want to eat it as soon as it comes out of the oven. But he's not going to sit here and eat a 9 by 13. So I'm going to make it in the to-go 9 by 13 so he can take it to work tomorrow and share with the other guys because they love treats. When he shows up with treats, they're like, what did Miss Lippy make now? So I'll get a little piece. He'll get 3, 4, 5. I mean, I don't know. He may not take this to work. Who am I kidding? But he might. So this is stupid simple. Some of you may have heard of it. Some of you may have not. But the one thing you want to do is get your cream cheese out. This has been sitting since this morning out on the counter. Now, it's kind of cool in here, but it's very soft. You got to make sure that cream cheese is soft, but we're still going to be blending. So the first thing we got to do is our crust. So y'all know I got to get my glasses on. If memory serves me correct, it's not but like 3 ingredients. But I'm going to drop the camera, and we're going to get the crust going. Make sure your oven is at 350 now, okay? Preheating. You hear mine tick, tick, tick. It's preheating because I almost forgot myself. Okay, to this bowl is a stick of salted butter. It's softened, but I'm using salted butter. Y'all know I don't use unsalted butter. But if a recipe calls for salt, I normally don't add it. So it's a stick of softened butter and 1 egg room temperature. Now, I'm just going to get this well and combined before we add the cake mix. Okay, that's mixed up pretty good. Now, I'm using a Betty Crocker butter recipe, just a yellow cake mix. You can use any cake mix you want, you know, as long as it's the yellow buttered one, or any brand, should I say. And she doesn't specify, she just says yellow cake, and I like the butter. Now, we're going to get this mixed, but you don't have to beat it to death because it's going to be crumbly. It's going to resemble crumbles, okay? Now, we're going to just dump it in here, and this is all you're doing is just getting it packed down. I'm going to set this to the side, but I meant to tell y'all, in her recipe, she does add a cup of nuts to this mixture. I'm omitting the nuts. Mr. Buddy prefers it without nuts. But let's go back over this real quick. It was a box of yellow cake mix, 1 stick of softened butter, 1 egg beaten, and a cup of nuts chopped, optional. We're going to leave the nuts off. And I'm going to set this 1 block of softened cream cheese down in this bowl. Okay, to the cream cheese, you're going to add 4 cups of powdered sugar. Next, we're going to add 3 eggs. About a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Y'all know I don't measure that. Now, some of you may only buy the box powdered sugar. Well, that box powdered sugar is 4 cups. So if you don't keep your powdered sugar in a large container, just a standard box of powdered sugar would go in here. Now we're going to combine this. Okay, now we're just going to pour this goodness all over the crust. And I like to go back and forth through the middle. It helps to keep it all even. Okay, I'm just going to go through kind of like the center and just start bringing it to the corners. And that's just what works for me. You don't want to mash too hard and disturb that crust. Perfect. In the oven on 350, about 30 minutes is what her recipe says. But she says to check it. So when it starts to get a golden color on top, pull it and just let it sit. And it'll all come together. So she says 30 minutes, but make sure, you know, it's got a little bit of golden. Your oven may go 35, it may go 25. But I'll show you when it comes out of the oven what you're looking for. And then I've got to wash this up. And guys, I got the story, not of the day. I think I got a story to tell of the century. I wouldn't have believed this, but it happened to me today. So I can say this is 100% a true story. Lippy always finds herself in these situations. I just take it's like a cleaning toothbrush, and I go through right here. And I think this is why this old mixer has lasted so long. Because I come in and I really give it a good cleaning before I put it up. This was actually a gift from a young lady that Buddy and I basically adopted. Her and her little girl. They had moved from Indiana. And they were our neighbors, and we took them in. Now that little girl has graduated college and about to be a mom in about 3 months. Yep. Time flies, y'all. All right, I got everything kind of soaked and cleaned up. Now, let's talk about, well, my nose itches. These bananas. Now, yes, I do buy mine green because I have 2 more that I'm going to eat that's ready. So by the time I get to these, it'll be perfect. Okay. I'm in self-checkout, right? The bananas is the last thing I got to check out. Because I normally do my lemons. Anything that you got to weigh, I do that last. And there's 2 ladies behind me waiting to check out. And I set, this is the scale. So I just set the bananas down, punch A to B, bananas. It rings up $1.24. I go to put them in my bag. Y'all, this little girl, she a little girl to me. She walks up, she says, ma'am, you weighed them wrong. I said, well, it says $1.24. She said, that's not right. I said, oh. So she grabs a little gun. She pulls this badge. She ding-dings it, and then she punches something, and she clears my bananas out. Now, mind you, I had them like this. She says, ma'am, you have to weigh your bananas like this. I said, do what? Yeah, you have to weigh them like this. Let me show you. I said, weight is weight. No. She set them like here. She pushed A to B, bananas. It rang up $1.24. And now she to my right, and of course, y'all know my face. I talk with my expression. I looked at her. I said, you see, weight is weight. Well, they have to be up like this. That's what we were taught. I said, they need to teach y'all weight is weight. By this time, these 2 women are chuckling. She just turns and just leaves. Guys, we're screwed if this is our future. I'm talking about we're heading south, like at a high rate of fuel, okay? When young people, she was in her 20s, doesn't know weight is weight, down, sideways, up. Yeah, and I have social media, but I think they need to shut all of it, all the internet down. I think we actually might need a restart. Pen, paper, no calculator. Grow something. Pluck it, cook it. Don't go buy a box dinner and throw it in a microwave. I may be going extreme, but that's what I thought about. I said, what are they teaching these kids? Y'all, it really happened to me. And I'm proceeding to walk out, and I just look at her, and she just all happy, and I said, Lippy, honey, we screwed. We might as well surrender, because these young folks got it all sewed up. The smartest people in the whole world. So, people, when you go and buy bananas, weigh them like this. Because that's what she said. That's what she was taught. It's a good day. Even though they ain't taught these youngsters about weight. This is the color that you're looking for. It's actually showing up darker on camera. Now we got to start on our hush puppies. Now I'm making a half batch. If you want to make more than the amount I'm making, you'll just double it. But in this pot, I have 3/4 cup yellow cornmeal. Has no leavening, no baking powder, no baking soda, has no flour. This is just plain yellow cornmeal, 3/4 cup. And you're going to add 3/4 cup of water, equal parts. I'm going to turn my heat on to a high medium. And you're going to constantly stir this. Remember, I'm sitting on high medium. And actually, I'm going to turn it up about a number 9. So, this is very critical to these hush puppies. This was my Uncle Rodney's recipe. I learned this recipe in the late 70s. Okay, it's coming together very fast. This has only been going about a minute. Like I said, I'm on a number 9. You really want high heat. And we're almost there to that boil. Boil, listen to me. We're almost there to the ball. Y'all know I get those words mixed up. And I'm making a mess. And we are, I would say, there. Yep. Okay. That's where you wanted it. Now, this is warm to the touch, but it's not blistering hot because you noticed it didn't take but a minute. And this is what I mean by a ball. Okay? You're thinking, oh my gosh. Guys, I'm telling you, it is amazing. Now, in this is 1/16 of half and half. You can use milk. I like half and half. This is a 1/3 cup measure, and I brought it half full. And then I added a teaspoon of oil to this. And what I do is I just kind of go around and mix it. I know you're thinking, oh my gosh. It works, guys. Okay, now I'm going to add, if I was measuring, about 2 tablespoons of that diced onion. And yes, I'm using my hands. Okay, we've got 1 beaten egg. Now, of course, you want clean hands when you're doing this. And you don't have to use your hands. I just choose to. Before I really start whipping it. We've got some dry ingredients. And because I'm cutting this in half, this is going to be half of his recipe. 1/2 cup all-purpose flour, 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder, and salt and pepper to taste. I used my voodoo dust. Now I'm going to let my wooden spoon help me. Now I'm going to get it over into this bowl and just let it sit till we're ready for it. I brought my shrimp and fish out about 15 minutes ago. I've got my peanut oil heating about a number 6, between 6 and 7. You don't want to bring your oil up too fast to temp. So what I've done is I've lightly covered with cornmeal. I'm going to add a little bit more. And then I'm going to do some seasoned flour that I mix up myself, and I just put it in this jug. 3 parts cornmeal to 1 part flour. I'm going to add some voodoo dust. And we're going to add a good amount of salt. Place the lid on and get everything well coated. Okay, I got my oil up to 360. I want to cook at 350, and I know that this will bring the temperature down. I was on a number 7. I'm going to move it down to a number 6. I know that's my sweet spot. Perfect. And just like that, we've got our fish done. In goes the shrimp. Look at there, about 2.5 minutes later, and they are done. Okay, we're going to go ahead and pull the second batch up. Now the spoon that was in the Hush Puppies, I'm going to run it through my oil. And that way this Hush Puppy will slide right off. Just like that. Okay, there's 3, there's 6, there's 8. Let's get 1 for Lanyap. Make it an odd number. And that's plenty for us tonight, guys. Now, all I did was just cover my little bowl that the Hush Puppies was in. I set it in the ice box. You want to roll them now because you want them evenly cooking. But they're so fluffy by putting that heat on that cornmeal and water. I don't know what it does. But, guys, it works. 5:15, y'all. We did good. And yes, we're eating on redneck china. Y'all, I deserve this, right? We got some fresh onion, some sliced lemon. I love lemon on my fish and shrimp. I made just a small batch of cocktail sauce. We have our tartar sauce. We have our beautiful slaw. And our fish, shrimp, and Hush Puppies. Look at these guys. Ooh, that's hot. And yes, the Neiman Marcus cake. You know what time it is? Quality control. And I'm fixing to show you my plate, and you're going to be like, you're eating without him? Nope. The 360 says he's pulling in the driveway. So he got in early. And I'm so glad we got this done. But look at my plate. Whoops. I don't know if y'all can. I'm going to pull the camera down so you can see it. This is better. Got me 2 Hush Puppies, about 4 shrimp, 2 pieces of fish, the slaw, some onions, and I did put a little lemon juice. I squeezed a lemon on my fish and shrimp. Some tartar sauce and cocktail sauce. I'm going to try the slaw. Y'all, this is so good. It is the dressing. Now, you don't have to use this mix. You can just use the dryer's calling my name. You can use a coleslaw mix, make your own. You know, those broccoli salads, instead of on the sweet side, lean it more to this. Guys, that is absolutely delicious. That is lunch with a cracker all day long for me. Now, I'm going to burn myself, but here you go. Whoa. I want y'all to look at the inside. Perfectly cooked, not doughy. Now, if my mom was alive, she'd be smearing butter on it right now. But like I said, you can add sugar. A full batch would be a tablespoon of sugar. This batch, I'd add a teaspoon. I love it without the sugar. I have no words. This is so good. Now, I didn't season it strong. You know, you can really ramp it any way you want to, as long as you have the basic. And that was cooking that cornmeal in water till it formed that ball. I always say ball. Get it off the heat, add the rest, and then the rest is unlimited. Whatever you want. Did y'all see that fly? You want to add. But here's the flavor for the fish and shrimp. Now, we got to try at least a shrimp. That's just so good. Okay, I do like to put mine in cocktail sauce. And I just used ketchup, lemon juice, Worcestershire, and Crystal hot sauce. Very simple. Here we go. That shrimp is tender. It's just not engulfed in a coating, you know. But it's got a little bit of crisp. Out of this world. And you gotta have a bite of sweet onion. Y'all, this is a celebration meal. Thank you for coming along and celebrating this day. It's a day we'll always remember. It's a day we'll always relish in because it's a reminder where we was and where we're at. So I'm sure many of you have those days you can relate to. I can't stop eating the hush puppies. So I must end and enjoy my plate and fix his. He's walked in the door. So as always, guys, stay safe, stay well, and God bless. And I'll see you on the next one. Thank you so much. We love you.